What's going on? What's going on? The bridge.
Take.
The bridge is in the house. Let me tell you something. If you already gonna get value, you know we already taking over. Like and share your page. Yo, Bridge, what's up?
What's good? One take. What's happening?
Yo, I'm hyped, man. Let me tell you something. I had a crazy day at work, and I'm gonna tell you something. We back at work right now, but this is the part of the job that I love so very much, my guy. Woo-hee!
Careful what you ask for, man. Be
Yo,
careful
Bridge,
what
we
you
say
ask for.
absolutely, man. Let me
Word,
tell you
man.
something, man. How could we have done this thing better, Bridge? I
Man,
mean,
let's just get right to it. So,
yo, let's get
shout,
right to it. Look, you know
listen,
what?
before we jump in, man, I just want to say shout out to the It's Life community, man. Hello, everybody, man. Thank you for your support, man. We do it for y'all, man, and we are here strictly for you. There's no us without you.
Bars.
Listen,
Bars.
thank you so much for being here. One more time, one take. Let's get
Yes,
right
sir.
into it, man. So,
Yo, so tell me, man. Listen, all you all knew. Of course, you know. Last week we've talked about this. We've covered some topics. We've hopped on. We've hopped off. We've hopped around. We've hopped through. We went through some theoretic point of views. We came to some specific point of views. But listen, tonight we want to sort of bring some closure. You know, and not only that, but again, we know that it was kind of crazy that was done by two pioneers. You know, there's so many different layers and aspects we can go. You know what I'm saying? Into deep dive into this thing, but at the same time, yo, Bridge, what's up, my guy? Bring us to the place.
man. I really enjoyed this topic, man, and I think our community did. I just feel like, well, not that I just feel like, there's just a couple more things that I definitely want to make sure that our community understood and took away from this. You know what I'm saying? Last week, said a few things jokingly, but we did make some great points, understanding that better decision making and better filtering could have been exercised on both ends.
Yeah.
Okay. Something that we didn't cover that I think is very important for us, as we dabbed into it a little bit in regards to our community, you know what I'm saying? And regardless to whether it's on a grand stage or not, embarrassment to a degree, or someone's words can affect you so much that it can cause you to make a decision that you can't come back from.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're not as fortunate to have money to soften the blow.
Say that.
And sometimes in our community, right? Well, to have that kind of money to soften the blow, you know, where if we lose our job and nobody really wants to work with us, that we'll still be able to pay our bills and our kids will be good.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of times when we make poor decisions, it usually puts everybody at jeopardy in our family, you know, and we stand to lose a lot. More importantly, we should never let, you know, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never hurt us.
Yeah.
Right? Ultimately, if someone doesn't put their hands on you, there's no need to physically, or for you to put your hands on them, in my opinion. This is something that we teach our kids a lot. But this was a prime example on an adult level, right? And on the fact that when that happens, right, you open yourself to an even greater reaction and potentially a higher level of consequences.
Absolutely.
When you take it to that next level. And sadly, in our community, a lot of the time, words can easily escalate things to the next level. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because people are not, being considerate of others.
Right.
But more importantly, everybody's not as witty and not as emotionally stable,
absolutely,
so to speak, to be able to receive it properly and process it in a healthy way, to respond back with words. And a lot of us seem to only know how to respond to embarrassment and or discomfort with violence.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's not conducive to us and to our process of teaching self-control or developing self-control. So
Yes.
I kind of want to center
That's
in
great.
on the area of not letting words trigger you to the point that you escalated to a physical level,
Absolutely.
especially when hands were not put on you. So we're never saying don't defend yourself. We're also not saying don't defend your wife,
Right.
don't defend your loved ones.
Absolutely.
But we have to learn how to do better with, and I say all of us as a human race, but
Yes.
definitely as a community. And
Yes.
seeing that was a prime example because, as I said, that's Will and Chris. But
Yeah.
what about the average Will and Chris on the street, man?
Say
That,
that.
that, that the whole world is not highlighting it, but their families are just as affected
Say that.
by the responses and the reaction,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, or the poor decision making. Because either side's family was still affected. You see, you got Tony Rock out there feeling away,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
you got you got Will's family responding. You got Will's
Absolutely.
mother's responding.
Yeah.
They got a whole family. The Rock
Yes.
family is a large family. It ain't just
Absolutely.
them two. They just the ones that's famous.
Yes.
You dig? So there's a lot of there's a lot involved. But then in our community, and you just draw it back, we
Yes.
have families too. We
Absolutely.
make poor decisions, and
Absolutely.
the repercussions just seem more dire.
Yes.
You know, most days we stand more to lose as
Yeah.
a human race and as a community. And
Absolutely.
so it's important, it's life community, that we re-enter this topic in regards to centering our understanding and our focus on how much words affect us, which we know words can very much sting. Like the tongue is a deadly sword.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
when used correctly and incorrectly.
Yeah.
However, we can no longer allow words to affect us to the point, and this is even a message for myself,
Mm-hmm.
where we respond in the physical nature.
Absolutely.
Because I can never see how that will turn out positive or how we'll ever learn anything.
Absolutely.
Anybody will learn anything from automatically just getting physical. Yeah, I mean, you get your point across and everybody know you ain't playing, but nothing is learned. And
Yeah.
what we're doing here, and the reason we do this,
Yes.
is like we say, you know, we're helping people develop self-control to
Yeah.
make better decisions. It
Excellent.
starts with how you receive things a
Yeah.
lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's very significant. And we talk about the colors all the time, no matter what color you are.
Yeah.
Words cannot bring you or should not bring you to violence.
Yes.
We and that's my area of focus in regards to that. And that's something that I feel
Excellent.
that, not that we missed, but we didn't get a chance to cover. And this is important. This is why I
Right.
felt it was important to come back and just discuss this a little bit, but
Yeah.
finalize the ultimate point for our community in
Yes.
terms of managing yourself better, your emotions better,
Yeah.
and the way you
Yeah.
processing things in a healthier way, but
Yes.
never letting something non-physical bring you to a physical resolution with
Absolutely.
someone
Absolutely.
in a
Absolutely.
negative way, because it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's sad, and
Mm.
this is how it ends up sad, and this is truly why it's sad.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's so many other ways, D,
So
that this
many
could have
other
been
ways, bro.
handled. So
Absolutely.
many other ways. And I know I
Yeah.
joked and everything,
We all
SmackDown.
joke. We
I got,
joke about
you
it.
know,
We had a good, yeah,
I got it
of
in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a
course.
Harlem kid, but at the end of the day, and then pause. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's just the
Right.
facts are the facts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And words can't be, physical response can't be the result or the resolution all the time just because our feelings are hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What you
And
think about that, D?
well, partner, let me just say something. I want to say that I commend you, bro, before even bringing this point up. And I want the community to understand that we plan to allow for you to just take the lead because there was at this particular point you need to pull out. And at the mere fact that you came with this, and I thought about this, I thought about, verbal, offense, and then physical reaction,
Yeah,
um,
man.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I could refer it back to the scriptures, because I know me sometime, and there's a scripture that
Do what you
says,
do,
"When I
dude.
was a child, I spoke as a child."
Mm,
When I became an adult, I put away my childish things.
say that.
And sometimes, there comes a time, Bridge, where we all have to on. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody got a level. Everybody got a point of no return moment, but the whole idea and the objective is not to get yourself to that particular point as to where we can't think anymore and we react in a particular way that even make us look like very, very bad as a unit, more or less as an adult,
It's
and
a
if we
fact.
put away our childish things, that means that I'm going to think, I'm going to think carefully. I oftentimes think about my job. I think about anybody who have jobs that anybody's put over. You have an assignment on your job. You know what your responsibilities are. You know what they hired you to do. As a brand ambassador, for me at Hudson Yards, we're not here to fuse situations. We're here to defuse any situation that come about. And for that reason, it shouldn't. If my boss is going to put me in that particular building, right? And something break out, should nobody have to call my boss if I'm there? You see what I'm saying? Because my responsibility as an adult is to defuse any situation, even if it's potential. And I love the way you pulled out that we're helping people develop, self-control, which simply means you don't have self-control. I'm still developing it, which means now I realize that I have levels, that
It's a
I,
fact.
I can't reach before I snap, crackle, and pop. So
Yep.
before I get there, okay, partner, here come the blues situation, right? If I can just think and process, right,
Mm,
what's going on and what direction it's going in and see it before it happened, I
right.
can diffuse the situation, decompress it, and not allow for it to get to a result as to where I'm getting on the stage to smack a fellow brother and or sister, and embarrass us both, despite whatever the right or wrong might have been, like you said, we can always handle a situation. I do believe that if somebody handle you verbally, then verbally it should be, you know, because if this was handled in the courtroom right away, you know what the situation is because of who threw the hands first, despite of no matter what it was. However, we all love all of them.
That's
We
right.
love Chris Rock. We love Will Smith. We love Jada. We love Jalen. We love their families, and I do believe that we have to love each other enough, to be able to say, let me think, because again, I'm always mindful, Bridge, and this is something that we teach, and this is a segment I would love to teach on later on, but we talked about it. By the way, what was it? I'm trying to figure out what video that was that we talked about when we talked about filtering. Remember that? Which
Mm,
one was that, bro?
that might
Um,
have been like the second.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the title was for people to go back to, but I'll
Oh,
leave it in our description. I know it was
is it
I
like
will
am I really a good friend?
right there it is. And please do me a favor, y'all. Go back and check that out. Bridge and I have talked about and gave you some good content. If you really want to know exactly how to develop, what I'm saying, your self-control, go to that particular video. And I promise you, you're gonna be blessed by it. And you're gonna think about some things, before you act upon some things. And so for me, I'm always a stickler of of thinking about who's around when I say what. You know what I'm saying? Because just like we talked about Tom, we talked about Jill, Jim, and how Jim was around his friends and he was at his table where he was being honored because he was, elevated and promoted. But Tom is always the say it all, always know it all,
Right.
and he says, and also Jim says something that was not from the Bible, was from Shakespeare, but he claimed it was from the Bible. Yeah, I need to go
Mm-hmm.
back and take a look. This was some good
Yeah, yeah,
content.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
Tom
yeah, yeah. That
came
was
up and
good.
told him you were wrong in front of his whole company and stuff like that. And again, the reason why I'm pointing that out is because I'm very, very mindful. Now, I always like to allow for other people to be mindful of the fact that if you're going to say something, if you're going to correct somebody, what I'm saying? If you don't have the proper way to approach that matter as to where it's tasteful and tactful, in front of other people, wait until you get away from other people to want to go and correct the person that you love because you want to be mindful of how they're going to feel if you say it when you're around other people. People are more embarrassed because it's sort of like, why would you tell me about the mark on my shirt behind me in front of people? You know what I'm saying? if you know I'm going to be embarrassed. Now, obviously, we do know that there's some people who love to shoot from the hip and this, that, and the other. But there comes a time where I don't care if you like to shoot from the hip or not. There comes a moment of embarrassment if we don't pay attention and or self-aware or aware of our surroundings, our atmosphere, and the people we say what we say around. So more or less, baby brother, we say what we say around people. How about smacking somebody, in front of somebody, and how would that individual feel no matter what was said verbally? You understand what I'm saying? And again, this is not about right or wrong because again, we don't know how a person feel when they do receive something. But now that we look at this aspect, as adults, we teach our children, listen, you do as I say, and allow for me to be that example. How then can my child, learn from me if they see me act on the contrary, And at the same time, we just be mindful. And again, us as adults, Bridge, we're not perfect. Of course not.
Mm,
We get angry. We
right.
say things around our children and we
That's a
say, look,
fact.
get out, of course, but they know that I think the point that I'm making when it comes down to our children in this aspect is that not to say that it's okay to be cussing our kids out, but if they know that your discipline come from an area of love, and I think that this is what it is. Violence, it does not display acts of love. We oftentimes talk
Right.
about, Facebook and how when people give us the hearts, that Facebook love acts of love.
Right.
They love when people display acts of love. And if we're gonna discipline each other, if my brother, what I'm saying, Bridge is gonna say, D, look, I want to say this about, I want to talk to you about this. So I want to correct you on something, or I just want to, just help you out with something. Or if I'm saying the same thing, I'm not going to go up on social media and say, yo, Bridge, we have to be
Right.
mindful of the thousands of people who are watching. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the same time, watch this on the contrary. If there's somebody who says something that you are embarrassed about, wait until you get off of or get away from or get from around to be able to talk to that individual, just to get the understanding. Let me just say about this, the scriptures also, and all thy getting, get an understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that you can stand under what is that we agree to,
Mm,
So again, I'm not going to stand under anything I don't agree to,
say
But
that.
if we can find an agreement, I can stand under that. No, I follow this,
Say
I'm
that.
with that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Bridget. That's my take on it, babe, brother. That I think I'm grateful for, us as a people. I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna just say this. I'm not, this I'm not gonna just push away any other ethnicity. I just want to just choose my words carefully,
Right.
But it's nothing like when we love each other. It's
Oh
nothing like
man.
showing when your brother show you love. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like that. It's nothing like
Right.
when people do things in love. You know what I'm saying? In the
Mhm.
acts of love.
Yes.
And
Right.
guess what? You straight. You
That's right.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Ain't nothing wrong with you because you tell your brother, your sister that you love them. You feel what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
It's nothing wrong with you if you correct your brother, your sister, to say, "Yo, I feel that you hurt me when you say X, Y, and Z." It don't make you a
That's
punk.
it. Don't
I'm,
make you no
you
less
know
of an
what?
individual.
That's right, Bridge.
That's right.
Absolutely. Because again, you got the toughest dude that's out there, rather they're on the street, rather they're on social media, rather they're celebrities, who
You need
have a
love too.
lady, who have a lady. Look at Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you could look at also Chris too, Look at what his lady is able to do, you know what I'm saying, to him and have that kind of power, which means that, it's nothing like when there's somebody who can show you, look, I'm for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm for you and I'm there for you. This is what Willa did with his wife. Yes, maybe the wrong way, but I understand. Watch this, the
Right.
acts of love,
Mm-hmm.
But the acts of love shouldn't be the kind of act to hurt somebody else, to
It shouldn't be
display
an unhealthy
love.
act. That's
You feel
right.
me? You're not a punk. See, because I'm gonna tell you, like I was saying, the toughest dude have a lady that can bring him down to size. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Everybody got somebody that can bring them back to their senses.
Mm-hmm.
God bless a young brother who lived in Red Hook. His name was Gerald. Gerald was a little out of the way. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
And but when he was sane, he seemed to act maybe a little schizophrenia, maybe, what I'm saying, I'm not too sure of all of what it is, but I do know that when he's saying and he love you and he give you that much respect and you can
Mm-hmm.
bring him back to his senses, even if he
Mm-hmm.
start to go a little out the way and start to act crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody knew Gerald. We developed the whole neighborhood developed a love for Gerald, knowing exactly what Gerald is. God bless the dead today. But there were several people when he did act wild, no matter who made him upset, that
Mm.
can come and say, Gerald, stop, and he'll just shut down because of the love and respect that he have for that individual. You know, everybody need the person that they can respect and love to show the acts of love, to show, you know, your maturity, you know, as an adult, you know. Say, listen, just like a child, listen, I need you to sit down. Sometimes we have to go different ways with our children, right? I got
Mm-hmm.
two kids. You got Donald. I got Donald, and I got Azariah. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Donald, I gotta say, I'll knock you out if you move. Azariah
Mm-hmm.
just say sit there and don't move. He'll sit
Right.
there. Two
Right.
different ways. Come on, Tyler Perry. Two different ways, but you get the same result. You feel what I'm saying? You just got to know how to get that result. You
Ah,
know what I'm saying? But as adults, you know, there's certain results we would love to get out of each other, but when it is on the contrary of love and peace and kindness, you're going to
mhm.
get the opposite. You know.
That's right. That's right. Listen, man, you said a lot, man, and a lot of value, man. And if you guys
Yeah,
got value, man, please
yeah,
send
man.
those hearts up,
Please
up,
send us
up,
the
because we're
hearts, man.
delivering a lot of value on
Yeah,
this one.
man.
You
Listen,
said two things, one take, and
yes,
I'm
sir.
it's gonna
Yeah,
be my final comments towards this.
got you.
The kids
Yeah.
and your influences.
Wow.
Those are
Absolutely.
two
Yeah.
things that stand out to me. So the reason that this was part two, the
Yeah.
most important reason that this was significant, this part two was significant for me,
Yeah.
was the kids. We're
Yeah.
always teaching our kids how to
Absolutely.
respond, how not to respond,
Absolutely.
how they can't. What's one of the first thing? Don't put
Yeah.
your hands on nobody. Don't put their hands on you,
Exactly.
right?
Come on, son.
But then we all
Talk
get
about
up
it.
and we laugh at this situation, and
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it.
Me
I
too. Me
laugh
too.
just of
Yeah.
the act of it. When
Right.
you fully think about the ramifications and what it represents for children all across the world,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Absolutely.
And then our children watching a lot of us reflect and
Yeah.
laugh.
Absolutely.
But the reality is, then we turn around and tell our kids, "Hey,
Not to do it.
if you they don't put
Mm.
their hands on you, don't
Yeah.
put your hands on them."
Wow.
But
Wow.
that needs to truly be enforced, and that should have been enforced here, and it wasn't. It wasn't.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
There
bro.
was
Absolutely.
no
Yeah.
there was
Closure.
ownership, but
Yeah.
partial ownership. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
So it's important for our kids to understand that that
Yeah.
thing is real.
It's real. It's real.
Verbal things, you know what I'm saying? Verbal confrontations or verbal insults they shouldn't lead to violence. Even
Absolutely.
if you get that riled up.
Yeah.
Be witty enough to use your words.
Yeah.
In a worst case scenario, if you can't go the higher route, then
Right.
you could potentially be just as insulting. That
Yep.
may not give you the best results and it still may create tension,
Say
but
that.
it does not lead to violence,
Absolutely.
potentially. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I can say the
Absolutely.
consistency of back and forth verbal assaults, which is why you should find a better way in which
Yes.
to understand why somebody's coming at you and to
Yeah.
just deal with it accordingly and be done
Absolutely.
with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Figure out
Yep.
if there's a respect level that can be found there. And if not,
Absolutely.
go your separate ways. We just
Yep.
don't have to deal with each other.
Exactly.
Right? But to put my hands on you when you didn't put your hands on me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Or vice versa. You put your
Yeah.
hands on me when I didn't put my
Right.
hands on you.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous, you know? So
Understand.
we should all be more considerate, more aware of
Yes.
each other, and more aware of ourselves, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
And will the influence, right?
Yes.
The person closest to us, right? The
Yeah.
people that are closest to us that motivate us, especially
Yeah.
for us men,
Absolutely.
our ladies, our children, right?
Yes.
Um, People who really care don't
Hmm.
let you throw it all away,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
especially on a grand stage like that.
Say that,
You know what I'm saying?
man. Yeah.
Wife is
Yeah.
usually the ones to say, "Nah, chill, it ain't that serious."
Right.
But when she can sit there and watch you walk up and
Yeah.
potentially throw a lot away,
Yeah.
it's something
Oh
to look
man.
at
That's
that. And
good.
For
That's
me,
good, bro.
I really do my best not to put my focus on that because you hear a lot of people talking about her.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus on her, but what I
No.
want the
Yeah.
community to recognize is that your
Exactly.
influences may have more, the things you care about and your influences may have
Say
more
that.
control over you than you know.
Say that,
You
son. Say
may
that.
have allowed more control within it that seems natural
Yeah.
to you,
Right.
But it's unnatural.
It's
But it's
unnatural.
become natural to you because you're
That's like
used to this kind of influence next to
good.
you.
It's good.
Doesn't make it right though.
Right.
That's the
Right.
difference. It doesn't
Right.
make it right. And
Absolutely.
so we need to be mindful of our influence, of the things that influence us.
Yes.
And we need to have more self-control
Yes.
over those things. You know what I'm
Say
saying?
that.
And we need to be the ones to be making the decision as opposed to our influences. That's just
Absolutely.
like us telling our feelings how to feel instead of our feelings telling us how to feel.
That's right,
Our
man.
feelings seem to be attached to our influences, and the influences
Yeah.
direct our emotions. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be the other way around. You should be able
Absolutely.
to tell your influence, I love you to death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I am motivated by you.
That's
But
right.
there's a better way for me to do this, and I'm gonna take care of it. We
Absolutely.
have to be the last ones in control.
Yes.
Not the things surrounding us, not the things that we're
Yeah.
feeling.
Yes.
Us.
Right.
Us. We
Right.
have to be the last thing in control. And
Absolutely.
that's what happened. The first thing in control was the response over here. Whatever
Right.
transpired here
Right. Right.
influenced everything else going forward.
Say that. Say that.
So we got to learn to keep our eye on the prize and not like here, or here.
Say
And
that.
look within.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because from my opinion, he
Yeah.
was in a place of self-searching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, I've
Yeah.
been seeing a lot of things where
Yeah.
he's been trying to develop his inner. He's been searching
Yes.
for something that he's been missing for a long time. He's been
Absolutely.
going through a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then all of these things. So he's been
Absolutely.
finding different ways to try to find himself.
Yeah.
And at that moment, he broke,
Before you
unfortunately.
think.
You
Yeah.
know, and he chose not to think. He
Yeah.
chose to feel.
Absolutely.
So for the kids, we always got to do better.
We have to do better.
Always got to do better for the kids.
Always.
We can't tell our kids, don't
Yeah.
put your hands on somebody that hasn't put, if we're not doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? We could talk all day till you blue in the face. They're going to do what we do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, bro. I first of all, yo, listen. If y'all just got value off of that, was crazy just now. What he just how he laid the smack down on that. Give us the heart chart, and I mean, smash the subscribe button. You know, because you need to have content like this. And partner, I'm gonna just say my last proportions of whatever it is. I don't have much to say because you done said it all for us, and it was something that you had said that really, really resonated from the beginning. You know, and like you said, the children and stuff like this. I wanted to say just from this last angle, I'm grateful to Monique Francis, and the reason why I say that is because she, as my wife, even today, you feel what I'm saying, is the kind of lady, and she would say to me, "Look, she's always upon principle. We always look about the principle. Because no matter after all else fail, it's the principle of the matter that really, really count. And had I been Will." And I want to speak to some of the ladies tonight, even through this, although we're talking to the children, and this is where I'm going to end off. Had it been something different now, if somebody put their hands on your wife, it's going to go another way. That reflexes is something. But if somebody's saying something verbal, what I'm saying, about your wife, and if obviously this is the case, we're talking about a comic, right? You know what I'm saying? But had I been Will, and I would have got up on the stage, and had I would have been at the Oscars, and he would have said something about my wife, my wife surely would have been offended, like a Jada, your wife surely would have been offended. But had I got up on the stage to smack him and come back and sit down, she may not have done nothing right then and there. But by the time we got home, she would have said, "Listen, first of all, I want to say I thank you for defending me. I thank you for not even defend, but standing up." In your words from our last episode, not defend, because there wasn't nothing you had to defend him from, but stand up for me. She said, I thank you for standing up for me. But she'd have turned around and said, "But you were wrong for hitting him." Yo, y'all, it's your boy Donald Francis.
It's your boy Mel, aka Bridge.
Yo, and we are helping people develop self-control
to make better decisions.